stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back, get your lick back. If a nigga owe you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX. J-Way. I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless. I'm gone. Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Give me that. The trends. See a lead, be the band.
Good evening, good evening. Mic check, mic check. Welcome to another episode of Postgame Podcast. We are here for a post-game report for Game 5 of the series against the Detroit Pistons and New York Knicks. And the Detroit Pistons were able to pull it out in the most dramatic of fashion in a game where they won 106-103. And it went down to the wire, as many games have gone. And this one, the Pistons end up on top. But it was not without a strong effort from the New York Knicks, who fell behind in the third quarter. Once again, make a heroic comeback in the fourth and nearly were able to pull the game off. But the Pistons are not ready to be done. We head back to Detroit for Game 6, and if the Pistons can pull out this Game 6 victory, all bets are off. Winner takes all. Anything can happen if they can get to Game 7. But there will at least be a Game 6. Malik Beasley said it best. This is not a first to 5 series. This is a first to 4 series, not a first to 3 series. So regardless of what has happened up until this point, the only team that gets to move forward is the one that gets the 4 wins. And right now, New York is still stuck at 3. Once again, with their backs against the wall, coming back to Detroit. I said it earlier. I said it in previous podcasts. The Pistons have played well in New York the entire season. They haven't won every game in New York, but they have played well in New York the entire season. And once again, we get an opportunity to right the wrongs from our last homestand where we lost both of them and really put the pressure on New York. This was a tough fought game. Cade got into some early foul trouble. He ended up with 4. Asar ended up with 5. But after another slow start from Cade Cunningham, he was able to finish the game with 24 points. He made a ton of free throws. I think he made a ton of big free throws. He went 11 of 12, 91% from the free throw line, and it was a very integral part to the Pistons winning the ball game. A lot of big putbacks from Jalen Duren down the stretch. I'm actually surprised that he only had 9 points, because I think he had like 4 or 5. He had about 3-4 dunks in the fourth quarter by itself. Asar had a huge game. A lot of back screen cuts to the basket for dunks. Tobias was out there getting buckets. Beasley had 10 points again. He had a couple of nice mid-range jumpers, but he still can't get it going. 10 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists, 0 steals. Not really bringing much. I mean, giving you that effort defensively, but you still would love to see more from Beasley. At any rate, we live to see another day. Dennis Schroeder had 14, which was huge. He's been you got to do whatever you can to bring that guy back. He's exactly what we've needed in the postseason. He has kept us in games when our other role players were not able to get the job done. Hardaway had only 8 points in 33 minutes. But let's look at what New York did. Rough game from Brunson today. Only had 16. He shot 4 of 16, 25% from the field, 7 of 10 from the line. Um, they they put Mitchell Robinson on the line a ton, which brought down their free throw average. It was kind of a give or take thing with Mitchell Robinson because he was getting a ton of offensive rebounds. Let's see how many offensive rebounds he had. Um, he had 11 rebounds altogether. 8 of them were offensive rebounds. He shot 3 of 7 from the free throw line. They even went as far as to deliberately foul him and make him go to the line. And I think he split. For the most part, he was splitting the free throws. More of a balanced effort from New York today. Anunoby had 19. Hart had some tough buckets at the basket. Mikal Bridges, I can't say enough about what he's done to keep the Knicks in some of these games. Some of these fadeaway 3-point shots and fadeaway mid-range jumpers have been the most impossible shots I've ever seen. But he's found a way to get them to fall. Towns had 17. Tobias did a pretty solid job on him. Yeah. Yep. Detroit basketball. Absolutely. The Knicks had a play in it ended up being a major factor in the game where Cade drove to the basket, collided with Robinson in the air maybe, but Josh Hart kind of got the brunt of it and fell. Not Hart, Brunson also injured his ankle. Looked like he got tangled up with Anunoby, but this is 2 games in a row that Brunson has had issues with that ankle, and it could be a factor down the stretch. But there was a stretch late in the game where the Knicks were down and they were looking to sub Brunson and Hart back in. And I don't know if the Knicks didn't have any timeouts or if they were holding on to those timeouts, but there were several possessions where they were just waiting on a sideline to come back in the game, and they could not get back in the game. And ultimately, the Pistons were able to hold on. Let's get to the first break. We'll be right back. All right, let's take a look at the box score. To see what the key stats were that made the difference in the game. All right, when we look at it, first and foremost, the field goal percentages were about dead even. Pistons have shot 42% from the field. The Knicks shot 43%. The Pistons did not shoot very well from 3, only 27% to New York's 36. Towns, once again, made some ridiculous long shots. Easily the best shooting 7-footer I've ever seen. Sorry, Dirk. One of the big factors in the game, the Pistons got to the line 36 times compared to the Knicks 27 times, and we were able to convert 72% from the field. So although Cade did have a slow start to the game and he didn't have his best shooting night, he did get to the line. I think he went, 10 for 11, something like that. So pretty good. They were about even at rebounding. The Knicks slightly out-rebounded the Pistons, and that was a lot to do with Mitchell Robinson. The Pistons are just too, I don't want to say we're too small, but we would have loved to have Stewart out there to kind of neutralize what Mitchell Robinson was doing. 8 offensive rebounds is insane. The Pistons had 21 assists in the game. They're about dead even with blocks, 10-9. Pistons had more steals. We broke even turnover wise. We each had 13 turnovers. Would still love to see. The Pistons were very sloppy, especially Cade. Let's see how many turnovers Cade had. He had a boatload of turnovers, which was driving me crazy early in the game. We also broke even with points in the paint. We each had 50 points in the paint. So let's look at Cade. This box score doesn't even show how many turnovers. Let's look and see. Cade only had 5 turnovers. I'm actually surprised. It felt like way more. But yeah, what I say, we broke even turnover wise. Yeah, we each had 13 turnovers. But yeah, the conclusion of the game, it came down to, I think Cade Cunningham hit 2 free throws to make it a 3-point game. When Asar Thompson gets subbed into the game plan, he gestured with his hands to, as soon as Cade makes the 3 free throws, because of course, I mean the free throw to make it a 3-point game, of course you don't foul him if Cade misses it because 2 free throws ties the game. But so Cade makes the free throws, making it a 3-point game. Um, Miles McBride gets the ball and they foul him immediately before he can get a shot up. Miles McBride misses the first free throw by act, not on purpose, forcing him to have to miss the second one so they could get a 3-point shot up. And they were actually, the Pistons were not able to secure the rebound clean, and the ball kind of rolled out to the 3-point line, but there was nobody there, and that was the ball game. So the Pistons in so the Pistons ultimately win the ball game 106-103 in Madison Square Garden, and we now have an opportunity to knot up the series back in Detroit in a couple of days. Let's see when the Pistons play the Knicks again. So that will be Thursday, May 1st at 7:30 in Detroit. Very big game. I expect to see a rocking crowd. Might have to be in the building for that. But yeah, exciting ball game. I wasn't sure whether I was going to go live tonight, but I decided to. Why not? Just to give you guys a little recap. Let's go through things one more time. Cade is the leading scorer for the Pistons, 24. See, shot 6 of 17 from the field, but he did make 11 out of 12 free throws, which was a major factor in the game. And outside of that, major contributions from Asar Thompson. He had, to go along with his 22 points and 7 rebounds, he had 2 blocks. He was all over the place defensively. He was moving without the ball, back screens, cutting to the basket, he probably made all of his points off dunks, probably every last one. He had some free throws too, which, I can't wait to I can't wait till he has a full year to work on his game, work on his jump shot, and learn how to shoot free throws, because he's going to get to the line a ton. He actually, no, he went 8 for 10 from the field. I was going to say, no way he shot 80% from the free throw line. He shot 6 of 12, 50% from the free throw line. If we can get that guy to a respectable 70% from the line, he is going to be a problem in the league. He's already one of the better defenders in all of basketball. But yeah, 22 points from him, a major 17 points from Jalen Duren. I would venture to say at least a vast majority of them were late in the game on putback dunks. And Schroeder, 14 points off the bench in 22 minutes. Balanced effort from the Knicks. Their leading scorer was actually Mikal Bridges. No, it was OG Anunoby, who had a pretty good game. One of the better defenders I've probably ever seen in my life. OG Anunoby is a monster. But yeah, OG Anunoby had 19. Mikal Bridges had 17, which was tied with Karl Anthony Towns with 17. And then Brunson, not one of his better games, 16 points, only shot 4 of 16. Great defense from Detroit. Was able to hold the Knicks down the stretch pretty well outside of some ridiculous Hail Mary shots. But the Pistons win. Please subscribe to Bleacher Speakers on YouTube. And Postgame podcast on all audio aggregators. It's your boy Foster Child. We'll be back real soon. I'm out.